One of the biggest revelations of this episode of Australian Survivor was Luke's creepy serial killer-like trophy collecting. People picked this up on Twitter. At the challenge for this episode, he was wearing AK's tank top. Yeah, and at the tribal in which he voted out AK, he was wearing Kent's polo shirt. He's wearing the shirts of everybody that he votes out. I don't think he's worn anything from Jackie yet. Maybe he could wear a hat or something. Keep an eye out in case he wears that, but good on you, Luke. I can see why you got on the show. You're a real character, mate. But the episode starts with Luke being very happy with himself, thinking that his plan of this elaborate lie that he told to AK that he totally fell for, he didn't, by the way, he saw through it, but he's very happy with himself. He thinks that he's the king of the island once again. But Luke has said that his next plan is to take out Peter, because he's the easy vote. I don't think that vote is going to be as easy as you think, Luke. Take a look at the alliance chart right now. 3 versus 3. Now this is something that we've been talking about a couple of episodes in these reviews. Luke's majority is not as solid as he thinks. The vote has been going his way recently, but once the other people realize they don't like him, he's going to be outnumbered. And you see Odette right there? She was previously like right on the bottom. So do you think it's possible that Sarah, Tara and Peter could pull over Odette? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it's possible. Peter will join anyone, and Sarah did say she does not want to get rid of Peter. She wants to keep him around because she wants him to be a good connection to the people on the other side after the merge. So whether Luke is aware of it or not, if they go to tribal in this state, he's in a lot of danger. I think Sarah might actually do it as well. If Asaga goes to a tribal again in this state, it's either going to be Luke or Peter voted out, depending on what Sarah decides to do. If Sarah decides to make a charge for Luke, I think he's going to go. I really do. This could be the end of Luke. So he just better keep feeding his tribe and keeping them strong so they just keep winning immunities, because I don't like his chances. But they did win immunity this time, so they didn't have to go to tribal. Let's focus on the tribe that did. In Samatau, Ziggy, Lockie and Henry seem to be bonding a lot. They seem to be doing this swimming stuff together. Again, that's good. You got to keep your alliances strong, and little activities like these, rituals like these, do sort of help to solidify these alliances. She, however, in the heat of the moment, just kind of blurts out that she has an idol. Now, at least she doesn't say it's a super idol, but she says it's an idol, and immediately Henry and Lockie are like, okay, she's got to go. She's too dangerous. She's far too dangerous. Henry already said that he does not want to be sitting next to her at the end. Now that she's got an idol, there's even more reason to go after her. But since they're kind of in close with her, it would have to be a blindside. So Ziggy's in a lot of danger right now. But Henry and Lockie aren't just tight with Ziggy. They're also tight with Annalisa now that she's back. And she figured out with the whole thing of where Henry gave the idol clue to Jericho, but then Jericho couldn't find the idol because Henry had already found it. She had figured that out, like the word had got around in the other tribe, and she figured it out that Henry probably has the idol himself now. And when she confronts him about it, he admits he does have an idol, and she admits so does she. I couldn't help but laughing. If Ziggy gets in on this as well, then you'd have all 3 idols in the one alliance. Like if these 3 just formed like a trinity, they'd be like the idol trinity. It'd be pretty awesome. But of course Ziggy, the more people that Ziggy knows has idols, the more she knows she can target with her idol, with her super idol, because that's what it does. Half of what it does cancels out someone else's idol. So Henry's looking good. He seems to have a pretty solid alliance here and a fair amount of trust going on, but they're all strong members of his tribe. All people that he would not want to be sitting next to at the end, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make a shift at some point in the near future. But the real story of this episode was the showdown between Michelle and Billy Goat Ben, as Henry called him, because a goat is someone that you just sort of lead to the end who doesn't really do anything. And of course, if you're sitting there at the end, if it's a final 3, you want to have one person who's done absolutely nothing and another person who everyone hates, so then you're probably going to get the majority of the votes. And Henry wants to protect Ben because he wanted to keep him around as one of his goats. And Jared, even though Ben and Henry have only been in the tribe for a week, Jared has already been able to identify Ben as a potential goat. He wants to keep him around for the same reasons for himself. But poor old Ben, he had no idea what a she-devil labyrinth of deception he was wandering into when he just had this casual conversation with Michelle. He totally hung himself. She gave him so much rope to hang himself, and that he did. It was very impressive with Michelle, actually. Very impressive indeed. And I also like the way that she sort of threw out these different bombs. She mentioned just to Lockie that Ben was talking about getting him out, and then I really like how she said, well, you know, maybe Ben, he can't actually pull the numbers now, but Luke on the other tribe could pull the numbers, and after the merge, the tribes are going to be 7 versus 6, so it only takes one person to jump over to flip the entire game. And he would do that. Ben would do that because he's already named Lockie. Like, that was what she said, and that's brilliant. That's really convincing, and I was just very impressed with her. I also liked how she didn't throw out all the information there. She also saved the fact that Ben revealed the reward to her until she was actually at the tribal, and she dropped that bomb then. And poor old Ben, I kind of felt sorry for him because he's not a guy who can express himself really well, and Michelle is really good at expressing herself, and she was just like it was kind of like watching a cat playing with a mouse that it's about to kill. It's like, poor old Ben, he didn't know what was going on. He was stuttering, and poor dude. That's why I think she's a bit of a she-devil. And it worked. It looked like they originally intended to split the vote between Ben and Michelle, as you would if you have the numbers, just in case one of them has an idol. Although they shouldn't be too worried about them having an idol, because they already know now, collectively, they know where all 3 of the idols are. It's with Ziggy, Annalisa, and Henry. But they split the votes just to be sure, and I'm guessing they were going to go majority of votes for Michelle and minority for Ben, but they decided to flip it because of all the stuff that Michelle was saying at the tribal. You can see Lockie did sort of mouth the words over to Henry and Jared for them to vote Ben, and they did. Lockie, however, stuck with what must have been his original plan of voting for Michelle. So sorry, Ben, but you kind of self-destructed. And the thing is, when you look at Ben, there's no reason why he shouldn't have been able to be in there alongside Henry, alongside Jared and all this, but just he's an outsider, he's too awkward, he just wasn't able to build that human connection with people. And it's kind of a shame. I feel bad for him. It really should have been Michelle, because Ben did have more, or at least more opportunity to create connections. He just didn't have the social know-how to do it. But if I have to predict what's going to happen with this tribe if they go to tribal council again next episode, in the state they are now that Ben's gone, I think Michelle's definitely going to be next. In the promo, it indicates that she's going to try to vilify Henry in the same kind of way she did Ben. I don't think that's going to work. He has a lot of clout with the rest of his tribe now that he's also got that bond of knowing where the different idols are with Annalise and with Ziggy. I think it's very unlikely they'll turn on him or he'll turn on them, or they'll believe anything about him trying to turn on each other. Like, they all know each other's secrets now. Like, what can she expose to make him look bad? And even if she does manage to convert Jared and Tessa to her side, she still wouldn't have the numbers. So I think she managed to pull a rabbit out of a hat this time in getting rid of Ben. I don't think she can do it again. There is a way perhaps that she could do it, but she wouldn't have any way of knowing this. But as we mentioned earlier, that Lockie and Henry are now suspicious of Ziggy and are saying they need to do a preemptive blindside to take her out. If Michelle was aware of that, she could use that as a way of keeping her head off the chopping block by saying to Henry and Luke, hey, if you want to get rid of Ziggy, I can help you do it. I can help you organize something to get the votes in order to vote her out. Then she would probably be kept around a bit longer, but again, there's no way she can really know that. I mean, this is a closely guarded secret just between Henry and Lockie and us watching the show. That's like the inner sanctum of this alliance, so there's just no way she could know that. But if her social savviness is able to pick up on that somehow, I think that's probably her only path that she could save herself if they go to tribal again. But if I was a betting man, I'd bet she's going to go next time. So let me know what you thought of the episodes in the comment section below, and thanks for watching, guys. Share this around if you are a fan of the show. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the comments.